money here and you invest here and you make 10 times on your money, always the poor people lose. Always the poor people in Bangladesh cannot eat now. Rich people, Hyderabad in India, or I mean in Pakistan, fabulous wealth. Rich people in India, Maharajas, fabulous wealth. Royal family of Europe, marry cousins, fabulous wealth. Rothschilds marry first cousins and keep the wealth in the family. But Central America, Mexico, South America, poor people, capitalism, and in Italy, after World War II, they hung Mussolini and they called it fascism. When you have government married to corporations. When you have the money, then you control the government. You always will, and you always have. You work, you buy a house, then you experience recessions, then inflation, then deflation, then depressions, like 1929 and the one that we're entering right now. People who work, if you're not smart, you end up with this much, And the people who manipulate global markets and currencies, and the richest people in the world, 1,000 of them each have $3.5 billion. That's 3,500 million. You can't spend that kind of money. The national debt of the United States of America before Reagan was $1 trillion. Now is $9 trillion. 300 million Americans in the U.S., you divide into the national debt, and you have 30,000 for every man, woman, and child. You have a baby tomorrow in the U.S., he's in debt $30,000. All the people in the world, if you give them 9 trillion, now 6 billion people, 2% own half of everything. 10% of the world's population, including me, own 85% of everything. So there's 15% less. And half of the world's population, 3 billion people, own this much. Zero, You're destroying the planet, polluting the air, and you cannot be reincarnated on this planet. And you cannot steal someone else's land in the name of your religion. 14 million people practice Judaism in the whole world, cannot steal this land in 1949 or something with the blessing of England or Great Britain, and kick out today 5 million Palestinians. If Jews have the right of return from everywhere. Palestinians have the right of return from everywhere. And you fight over the Holy Land, the Muslims, the Jews, and the Christians. Stop. The Wailing Wall, the Dome of the Rock, Bethlehem is sacred to everyone. People's actions express more than their words. Now, you steal elections, electronic voting machines, no paper trail, change the memory card, the people in power get reelected again, and women are equal to men. You don't treat them equally, it's not right. Every person has a different religion, not the same. Respect people's religions. Don't make war over religion. Don't burn and loot. Can protest, cannot cooperate, can strike. Cannot cooperate. The only state in the U.S. that has a paper trail electronic voting is the state of Nevada, where they have gambling and one county is legal prostitution. In the state of Oregon, they absentee ballot everyone before the election, and you have an honest election. The democracy is not a spectator sport, but participate. And it started in England here, I think 1415, when the nobles came to King John and he said, do this, and they said no. And then they wrote Magna, the Great Charter. And the U.S. Constitution comes from these laws. You do not have democracy in the United States today. Think about this. Spirituality. The Muslims in Muhammad's time, who is a prophet of Allah, divided into two sects, Sunni and Shiites. Don't kill each other, are brothers. Love each other. It's harder for a billionaire to become a Buddha than for a camel to enter the eye of a needle. In Saudi Arabia, 1,000 royal princes and the king have trillions of dollars. It's greed. A gangster, a crook is a gangster, whether you're Muslim, Jewish, or Christian. George Bush says he's Christian. Saudi Arabia say Muslim, but You ever look how they live in Saudi Arabia?